Hello, my name is Aman and I'll be presenting Pest Management in Cotton Farms, an AI system case study from the Global South. This is joint work with my colleagues in Vadhwani AI. Nearly 100 million families across the world rely on cotton farming for their livelihood. Most of these families are poor and depend on cotton as their only source of income. However, cotton is susceptible to pest attacks that can cause irreversible damage. In 2017 alone, almost 50% of cotton farms in India lost their crop in a pest attack. Pesticides can help. Almost 55% of India's pesticide usage is devoted to cotton farming. However, pesticides are expensive and overspraying can damage a farm's ecosystem. Pest traps have recently received a major push from the government. Each trap consists of a lure that attracts male bollworms, which get stuck inside the trap. The bottom of the trap is emptied to release the trap catch. These traps are placed throughout the field to monitor pest populations. Extension programs exist to improve farmers' livelihood. These programs employ field staff to provide direct guidance to farmers and also collect farm level data. The feedback cycle for the farmers is often quite long, ranging from a few days to a few weeks, due to manual analysis by experts. However, farmers need quick, localized guidance with clear action steps. We introduce a new solution for pest monitoring using deep learning, smartphone cameras, inexpensive pest traps, existing digital pipelines, and agricultural extension worker programs. Farmers empty the trap contents onto a sheet of paper and take a photo. Our deep learning model identifies and counts the pests in the photo. Based on the rules laid down by entomologists, we provide localized recommendations to farmers as to whether they should take any action or not. We first describe the data and the architecture used to build the system. There are no existing image datasets for pest traps collected in the wild. Hence, we had to collect our own data. We did so over 3 phases corresponding to different cotton season and across 2 different geographies in India. We primarily focused on 2 types of bollworms, pink bollworms and American bollworms. We use a multitask learning approach with a shared backbone. The detection head is used to identify and count the pests in the given image. The other head classifies whether the input is a valid trap image. If not, the user is asked to retake the image. Next, we describe the various challenges that we faced during the development of this system and how we tackled a few of them. Usually, entomologists study pests by using high quality images, which helps them identify some finer features like scales, wings, and eyes. Farmers, however, don't have phones with high resolution cameras. Hence, our images tend to be poorer in quality. Additionally, emptying the trap contents causes the pests to clump together. This makes it hard to identify the correct pest type even for the experts. The third phase of our data collection was also devoted to testing our model performance on the field. This is referred to as phase 3. We had to select the optimal confidence threshold for deployment. However, different subsets of the validation set led to very different thresholds, owing to the diversity in our data. This is primarily because different agroclimatic zones affect pest etymology and the environmental factors during image capture, as well as the presence of noisy objects like dirt, pests of another class, etc. We first obtain a sample of data from phase 3 and analyze the similarity between various subsets of our existing data with this collected sample. Upon studying the bounding box characteristics per image like pest size, pest counts, and pest density, significant correlations were found for average precision with both count and density. Similarly, false alarms were found to be correlated with pest density. In terms of count and density, the data from phase 1 was found to be more similar to phase 3 compared to the data from phase 2. Next, we study the similarities based on pest image characteristics. We trained the fully connected autoencoder on pest crops from our dataset. This gives an embedding for each pest crop in our training set as well as the sample collected during phase 3. We compute the cosine similarity between the pest embeddings from phase 3 and each of those from phase 1 and 2. Even from this approach, phase 1 was found to be more similar to phase 3 compared to phase 2. This helped us identify the subset in our validation set that was most similar to the expected data distribution. We choose the optimal threshold based on this subset going forward. Our model had to be designed for slow, low memory capacity phones which are often not connected to the internet. We adapt existing model compression techniques for our multitask architecture to reduce the model size from 250 MB to 5 MB with an increase in mean absolute error between the predicted and true pest counts of only 0.1. Finally, we observe that although mean average precision is used as a standard metric to compare object detection models, it is not defined for a fixed operating point. However, we need to choose a single threshold to be used during deployment. False positives and false negatives both incur a significant cost. We quantify that choosing which metric to optimize has a significant impact on the selected threshold, which in turn impacts model performance. We conclude with the lessons learned from our journey that would be of interest to any AI researcher looking to build AI solutions for the developing world. Firstly, it is probable that even domain experts may not provide accurate annotations due to lack of exposure to the reality on the field. In such cases, it is essential to train the experts themselves, which leads to a two-way learning process. Relying on standard evaluation metrics may not be the right thing to do. One needs to pick metrics that capture user needs and, if needed, define custom metrics. When operating in a low data regime, generalization to a new data distribution can be very hard. We recommend obtaining a sample of the data from the expected data distribution and to identify the most similar subset within your validation set. Hyperparameters should then be selected based on this chosen subset. Finally, in most rural settings, network connectivity is intermittent. Hence, most of the computation should be done offline. The expectation regarding model size, latency, and accuracy should be set with the right stakeholders as early as possible. This also gives tighter control over data privacy. To summarize, we propose a new solution using AI for pest monitoring. We share the challenges that we faced during our journey, how we tackled some of them, and the lessons that we learned that would be useful for anyone looking to build AI-based solutions.